G'day, welcome back to part 6 of my milling machine build. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers and I hope you enjoyed the content on my channel. In this episode I'm going to try my hand at casting aluminium or lost foam casting. So follow me along and we'll see how we get along with that. Alrighty, so before I can do something about mounting, making up these pulleys, I've got to decide exactly what I'm going to do. I've had a change of mind about where I want to mount this motor. It's actually quite big and it's quite heavy, and originally I had intended to mount it out here and have an idle pulley in here, so it would be from straight one single pulley to a double pulley here, so it'd be 50mm to 100mm, a 2" to 4", and then a 2" to 4", which is basically what I've got on the lathe at the moment. But I don't really need the same range that I had on the lathe, so I need a different range. So now what I'm toying with is I drilled and tapped these two holes in here so that I could bolt a piece of angle on there. So just let me grab something to clamp this on there with to make life a bit easier. What I'm thinking about doing is mounting it up on here. I have to cut a piece out of there to get it further back, and possibly using this pulley here, but I don't know that I'd get a belt short enough to drive it. In fact, I originally thought about using the type A V belt, but I don't know that I can get one short enough for that either. So what I'm going to have to do is get this mounted up there, measure it up, figure out how long the belt will be, and then see if I can get a belt before I bother doing anything else. Alrighty, so I've made all this bracket up now to mount the motor, so it'll swivel here. I need to cut a piece out of this bit of aluminium here to make it swivel a bit better. I spent forever yesterday working out some tapered inserts to go in here, because the inside of the hole's tapered and then it has a little lump in the bottom of it, and a fair bit of mucking around. Same as what you can see on the top is also inside the damn thing. I don't know what they have in there, moulded plastic bush or something, but I've machined up these steel ones. I went in town a day before yesterday and had a look for belts and what's available. There's a big place in there that sells a lot of washing machine parts and things, and amazingly they didn't even have the belts, these multi-V belts for washing machines there. It wouldn't be easy for me to make these, but I really would like to stick with that pulley there and make a 100mm one for here, because that would give me a huge reduction and a great speed range. But anyway, so that's it for the motor. Now I can work out what I need to make for pulleys, I think. But what I need to make now is a hot wire cutter, so that'll be the next cab off the rank. And the chances of getting this out next Friday took a hit this morning when my daughter tested positive to the dreaded coronavirus. So I've tested negative, but that's not to say that I won't test positive in the next few days and have the thing kick the shit out of me. So, but anyway, I'll keep on until something happens. Well, viewers, that wasn't too bloody hard. Piece of my rescued timber out of the old kitchen that the termites took a liking to. Some feet on the bottom of it. Piece of 1" flat, bent up, screwed to the end. Earth cable connected here, and the positive up on here. It's nice and tight. It was tight. It was tighter than that before I've started heating it up. But anyway, it's working pretty good there. I just moved that. I had it set for 110mm. Now I had some inline switches, but I seem to have run out of them, and the little shop that bought them from hasn't got any. So I'll have to hunt one of them down. So for the time being, it'll just be plug it into the lead. Now this lead isn't coming out of a household power socket. It's coming from my DC power box, which is over there. I'll put a little image up in the top left hand corner here of what's going on over there at the moment. So I'll plug that in. I've got it set at around 9 volts at the moment. I'll slice a piece off here. That easy. Now I've got a piece 100mm, 110. another one. That's 110 by 110. So I'll make up a little something that I can sit this on, rotate it and cut out a 100mm circle with it. Alrighty, so I've just marked a couple of lines on the top here and put a nail through a piece of timber. I've reset this. I noticed on the image that it was showing 11 volts, so I've dropped it back to around 9. Now I've got a nice round circle, but I want to, and we can see that there's another line there. I want to make this a step. I'll have a step and a step. So I'll have to cut that into this line and then rotate it around and cut the centre out of it. Now, well, it didn't work out too well. Nail's in the wrong place, so I'll go and move that nail and I'll come back. Alrighty, so I've moved that nail. I'll have a go at this. Alright, well that's a bummer. That's it's taken a bit too much out of there, but hopefully we'll glue that back together and it'll be okay. That's not the bit I want. This is what I want, and I'll cut a slightly larger ring that'll glue onto the top of this one and another one that'll glue onto the top of that. I'll make sturdy bloody music on. I've just made a startling discovery. Super glue eats this damn stuff, so I'll have to cut another one. Anyway, it's all experimentation. I've never done this before. Alrighty, so I've cut up all my other pieces and glued them all together. I failed attempt at trying to fill these voids with wax, but I think I'll be able to machine it down enough to get rid of what's there. Now I've mixed up some jointing plaster to coat it with. All this is coming from the myriad of videos I've watched on this subject. This is a lot higher because this will form a sprue, and I'm not sure whether I should have gone one more, but like I said, never done all this before. It's all experimentation, so I'm just going to give this thing a coat of plaster, and then I have to allow it to dry for a couple of days. If you've never watched any of the videos on this sort of stuff, the plaster is there to give a better finish than the straight up sand would give. So the inside of the plaster, once it's dry, becomes your surface. Alrighty, bit of something to hang this up with, let it dry. Alrighty, just going to hang this up and just let it dry. If I can get out of there. What's it look like underneath? Terrible. But anyway, we might be able to sort that out later. Alright, go hang this up. Alrighty, minor disaster yesterday. Had this thing hanging up to dry, and the glue that I glued this to here with proved to be not good enough, and it snapped off and fell off. But cleaned it up this morning, cleaned all that plaster away from so I could see where it was, and re-glued it with some PVA, and hopefully it's going to stay together this time. I had to put a little more plaster in there. But anyway, onto this thing. This is what I've bought to use for my furnace. It's what I would call a Thai barbecue. It's a fairly deep area here. Just going to use charcoal, which is what they use in their barbecues. The charcoal they make up themselves, and buy it in a bag. It's going to be $1 a bag. I've got this canister vacuum cleaner I bought a while back, which you can swap around so that it'll blow and not suck. So I'll use that as my blower, and I've got to try and fill this area here up. Now I bought a little bag of cement, and I was just going to fill that up, sort of plaster a pipe into it. But that's also where you get all your ash and stuff out afterwards, so I can't go blocking that off completely. But I've got this is the flange off a McPherson strut. I was just thinking about cutting that down so it will fit up inside there and sit basically over this hole. And then this bit of pipe is the same size as the end of the hose on the vacuum cleaner, so I'll weld it into there. And if I can find a PVC tube that'll fit nicely over there and the end of the vacuum cleaner hose, then hopefully that will solve that problem. The other option is to make up a flap out of a bit of this, just bend it around, cover that up and fix the pipe into there, so it somehow just hold that on there. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'll get on with that. Oh, by the way, my daughter, she seems to have had no real ill effects from this COVID, but I haven't tested myself for a couple of days, but I honestly feel like crap, and I'm tired and run down all the time, and I don't know. So I definitely don't think I'll be getting this video out Friday night. Right, change of plan. Suddenly thought it'd be much easier if something you just push it in there. So what I've done is I've got a plastic lining basically, so nothing will stick. Piece of cardboard in here, stop the cement going all the way in. Got this over here. I'm going to mix this lot up and put in there. So I'll get in and I'll just fill that. Not too much so it overflows, and then allow it to set, and then hopefully I'll just be able to pull it out and peel all that plastic off it and just be able to poke it in there whenever I want. Alrighty, I'll just let that set overnight and see how it comes out in the morning. Hopefully it'll just pull straight out. Well viewers, it's the moment of truth. Will this thing come out of here the way I hoped it would? Bloody hope so. I've just been down for my annual raping of the wallet ceremony at the dermatology clinic I go to. I need to pay them a regular visit because I come from the home of skin cancer and in Australia, so I really need to go and check it out every year. Used to get burnt to a crisp 2 or 3 times a year as a child, and now paying the price for all that fun in the sun. But anyway, here goes. Is it going to come out of there? Oh, look at that. I bloody bought one. So you can peel this plastic off. Cardboard should just peel off. There it is. I was thinking about when it's completely dry, putting a smear of silicone around here, just letting it dry, and just so it, you know, seal a little better and maybe hung in there a bit better when I stick it in there. But that's perfect. Look at that, beautiful, like a bloody bought one. All right, now still got something to do to finish this off, and didn't show you yesterday. I need a lid for the top of that. I bought this thing and they shocked the hell out of me when I got the price on it. It was 499 bucks, about 20 bucks or something for this piece. I just thought you're kidding. But anyway, I'm toying with whether I should put it that way or that way. But I need to cut a hole in the centre and fill it full of concrete, I suppose. But I've got a couple of U-bolts there. I'll mount some U-bolts in it and to be able to pick it up with. So I'll get on with cutting a hole in here. You might have to do it with an angle grinder, I think, and weld a bit of tube or something in there and then fill it full of cement. Well, that's that done. Probably would have been helpful if I'd have thought to do all this a few weeks ago, to give all this cement time to cure properly, because I can't go using it while it's all green. So that's just delaying all this whole thing. So we've got a red hot crucible sitting in our furnace. I've got to get the damn thing out. So I've made this tool to pick it up, get it out of there. This one, sit it in there very, very carefully, and then pick this up and pour into our mould. Alrighty, so I grabbed a bag of sand this morning, but it's a bit on the wet side. We had a massive storm here this morning about 5 o'clock, and it's now 1 in the afternoon. The sun came out about 15 minutes ago. So I had one lot spread out like this, trying to dry it with the fan wasn't working. Well, it worked enough to get this sieved up through this. This is fairly easily, doesn't take that long. And I thought this was pretty cool stuff, but that's all I got out of there compared to that, so I think we're doing alright. But anyway, that's probably about right, actually, that. So maybe a little wetter would be better, but anyway, so I won't be getting this finished today. And my larger crucible is due here sometime this afternoon, so that's probably a good thing, because I think that little white one's too small. Alrighty, so while I'm waiting for this last lot of sand to dry, last bit out of the bag's a bit wetter than the rest. The sun dries this stuff much quicker than the fan the other day. I'll get on with packing this thing up ready for a pour. So I'm just going to use this old plastic pot. It's all falling to bits anyway, so if I spill molten aluminium all over it, it won't matter. I've added a bit more to the top of this, and I've packed that cavity full of sand already, because I'm a little worried that I want to push it down there, it won't fill it. So we'll get some sand in the bottom of this. Sit this in here, working into the base a bit. Some more sand in around it. Now, because this is not an actual sand casting, it's a lost foam casting, it doesn't need to be rammed, from what I understand. But I do see some guys ramming it, I don't know why, but anyway. That new crucible's still not here, and I haven't heard from him yet, but it says it's out for delivery today. Alright, hopefully, a little brush and brush off. Hopefully that will give me a good result, and I won't have to go through this again and make another one. Alrighty, so I've just turned the vacuum cleaner off, and I'm going to take the lid off and get some of that dross out of there. And I watched the do's and don'ts video the other day by old foundryman. I'm actually using two things he said not to use, and that's aluminium cans and swarf. So I think the crucible's about half full now, I think, with aluminium cans, so I want to add some swarf to that now. Alright, now I'll turn the vacuum cleaner back on and heat it up some more. Alrighty, after watching those last couple of videos, I've moved the camera so I won't be standing in the way. This whole foundryman is spot on about the amount of dross. It's just astounding. It's probably more dross than that melted aluminium, and I'm not sure that I have enough, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. Yep, I don't think I had enough. But I'll give that a while to cool down and we'll find out. Well folks, not even close. We can call that a dismal failure, I think. But at least I've got something to melt down now instead of that other rubbish. And I might raid my little box I keep all my bits of aluminium and stuff in and melt that down with this and have another go at it. But I won't bother filming all that, and when I do get a decent finished piece that I can use, I'll come back to you. Well viewers, this video has been dragging on for a while. If you've enjoyed it up until this point, how about giving it a great big thumbs up and smashing that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. I've made up my next attempt, and I've got to leave that to dry for a couple of days. So we're out over 20 minutes again, so I've decided I might wrap up this video. I'm still waiting for stuff to arrive for China, so even if that comes out well, I can't machine it until the belt arrives, and I did find one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you come back for the next episode.